teachers who are holding online classes right now, what did you inadvertently learn about your students' home life during the classes? That their parents limit computer time and yell at them about using a computer while they're in class. That and a lot of parents are still worried about radiation from using a monitor for too long. Our school laptops don't have CRTs. Yeah. Screen time misinformation is going to hopefully be a casualty of this crisis. LCD screens emit light and that's it. Also the only meaningful radiation CRTs emit is light. Using a cord for a year exposes you to 1/10 of the background dose of ionizing radiation you receive in one day for just existing. The only thing that looking at a screen too long will do is damage your eyes a bit. Actually there is no evidence showing that long exposure to a screen leads to eye damage. Mostly, I'm getting to see students' pets. I've seen rabbits, birds, and lizards now. AWW, I want to see cool pets. Maybe I should start using video for my live lectures after all. It's all fun and games until the quiet kid pulls out a Python. Definition init_zoom_appy. I saw an article about a school in Finland that sent an email home to all the parents asking the dads to wear pants around the house. Apparently a lot of them were walking around sans trousers in the background while their kids were video conferencing with the class. I'm not sure if this is real, but it's hilarious. I don't know. I was conferencing with a colleague today and her husband was wandering around in the background without a shirt on. I just got off an online class and my teacher said she saw a student in another class eating cereal on the kitchen floor. That student is living like a ducking king. Or pauper. Who knows? It depends. What cereal was it? Student here. My parents yell at each other an awful lot and now classmates of mine who used to be awful to me are unusually polite. My psych teacher recently told me he's always there if I need to talk. I was on a call with my boss as I'm working from home, and my parents were having a discussion with opposing viewpoints that got a little loud. I hope she didn't hear them, as my door was closed. On the other hand, during a team meeting someone's got kids that are loud and behave like high energy kids, so that made me feel better. The students who show up a little sloppy to class, crank it up to 11 at home. I literally did not get out of bed. Alarm set for 7:55 am. Wake up. Connect to Zoom at 8 am. Nuts out. Under the covers. The right way to learn. Spoiler, this doesn't change when you get on a SRS/BSNS conference call 5 years older. Don't have any nuts to get out, but I totally would. I'm so glad you said this. I feel validated. I teach preschool, and we are doing daily Zoom meetings. Today the kids had a meltdown BC I didn't talk to them soon enough. One kid wouldn't stop singing, one kid was playing Legos on the floor, and another was literally just running around outside. Not much different than my everyday TBH. What's the point of doing those with kids that young anyway? My brother is in 1st grade and doing Zoom meetings with his class. All his classmates miss seeing each other every day and it's a nice way for their teacher to check in and for them to yell their random 1st grade stuff at each other. I have a kid in pre-K and another in 1st grade and I can tell you that the morning Zoom meetings have been great. It sets a tone. We have to be awake, fed and dressed for morning meetings. Their teachers are able to talk to them about what they need to do today and give us some pointers on the lessons. And it gives them a chance to say hi to their friends. A lot of the time is spent with the kids describing how they are coping, what they did the day before, successes and failures, and whatever. The pre-K kids love showing off things that they built, or their toys or their rooms. It's awesome. They have a few moments to be kids with their friends. They maintain their relationships with their teachers and even others in their schools. Their principal and even their pet teacher has Zoomed with them. We, as parents, have definitely dropped the ball and are in no way delivering the content as well as their teachers can. But I can tell you that those Zoom meetings have made a big difference. That sounds exactly like the daily Scrum meetings in my software development job. In mine people are more likely to show off their pets rather than their toys, but otherwise, yeah, same thing. Student here, but my first lecture was today, and I gotta say, people don't participate in physical classes like they do online. Like wow, we have 10 people actively talking compared to maybe 4. That and weird stuff happens when people don't mute mics. I'm in a usual lecture of roughly 300 and today we only had about 12 online. I was actually happier with it cause I'm such a nervous person. I felt like I could connect more with my professor. I kinda wonder after this if the universities will open more virtual classes. I assume they will use this as an example to allow them to supplement instruction with old video lectures and civic classes to further reduce the cost of instruction in future years and pocket more profits. Universities are a business. Don't fall in love with one. Honestly, I don't care if it improves learning. As a final year student, I hate some of my classes. If they can be improved, sweet. I got one with 3 teachers. I've learned the names and habits of so many cats and dogs. My favorite is a student's dog named Clear. Clear is the very best of boys. Big solid lad. I.e. a big boy, or like a small boy that acts like a big boy. He's big. I'm not sure what kind he is. Part lab, I think big white pup. Not a teacher, but a student in uni. It's fun to see my classmates' younger siblings coming to annoy them or ask for help with their school stuff. Also, it's amazing to see other pets and their habits, especially when a cat ends calls. This reminds me of my buddy's cat. Adorable bastard figured out a day or two after being adopted how to turn off the computer. After that button was disabled, the cat learned where the reset button is. That's so frustratingly cute. My cat is teaching me new key combos on the daily. This has resulted in a small notebook fort around my laptop, which sits on a shelf mid to my TV, while I use wireless everything to actually control it. The walls are holding for now, but only after early breaches and abattlements. Tolkien is providing reinforcement on the south wall, and my toolkit is standing valiantly on the north. The great feline eyes this gate daily. I don't know how much longer it'll hold. This is my second post this thread regarding my kitten Kaoka. I may be going insane. Just how southern one of my students' family is. She has no discernible accent. We are in NC, but her family sounds like rural Alabama stereotypes. Also, her grandmother said I was an idiot to my Zoom meeting face because I said corn dogs weren't good for cats. So, I understand why this student is maybe a bit dingy. That's interesting. I've always been told I don't have an accent, but my dad constantly gets comments on his southern accent. The weird part is I can't even tell he has an accent, but apparently to people in the northeast it's a really strong accent. Everyone has an accent, but different ones are dominant or default at different points in history. After WWII, Ohio/Indiana Midwest became dominant, and the increasing influence of broadcast media has made it more or less stick that way. Remember, all of our accents owe their origins to different regional UK dialects, but an American news anchor doesn't sound much like a British news anchor. Not a teacher, a therapist. I've learned that as bouncy and distracted as kids are in my office, at home they are much worse. It's fun to see where all my patients live though, and sometimes meet their families inadvertently. They invite the family over to see, not breaching confidentiality, and the best part is getting to meet so many puppies. My healthcare network is looking to go the Zoom route and I'm actually looking forward to seeing my psych instead of my super awkward phone conversation. But I'm a little worried about the massive stuffed animals on the bed behind me. I'm 29, but whatever. Should I care? Or just exist as is? Exist as is. It's not like you've got bodies hanging from the ceiling. My friend Audrey said a teacher told her that he saw a kid spill a Pepsi on the floor and start licking it up. Audrey said that must be true. Probably isn't, but I can still see that happening in NC. This state's going to hell. Damn, you just called NC out of nowhere. Cause of the Democrats or COVID-19? No, NC has always been terrible. I volunteer at a group home, and the kids have very limited time on computers, so they had to excuse themselves from Google Classroom. They also have to be watched the entire time, so I sit there watching them scroll through whatever work they are given. I often act as a tutor and help where I can. If you're a teacher and you're reading this, grade this stuff generously please. I'm in college and some of these homework packets would probably take me months to finish. Thank you so much for your volunteer work. My nephews were in a group home for a year. Fiance is a teacher. Edit. Elementary school. This wasn't inadvertent, but just confirmation, since she works in a poor district. She has 14 students, 5 of them are online at best. The others simply don't have internet. My mom's school is lucky because the district was able to provide class Chromebooks that the kids got to take home. Luckily, a lot of the stuff the kids needed was mostly already preset onto the computer, so internet for a lot of things isn't always necessary. The school's in a poor enough area to qualify as a Title I school, but under the new presidential administration, they no longer do, and that means that they're having a harder time because they're not as likely to get the extra help they need because they are no longer Title I. I teach at 2 New York City community colleges. I've had to make live lectures optional and set up my course with a lot of low bandwidth options. Most of my students reported having consistent internet and computer access, but I'm trying to maximize accessibility. Even still, I'm expecting some students will need to bail out and try again next semester when things are back to normal. That a week's downtime turns students into nocturnal wildebeests. Seriously, I had a math class planned this morning at 8. First student signed in at 10:30 with 50 minutes left. 40% had signed into the class by 1400. And only now at 19:15 does the questions start coming in on Teams. You know what, guys? Duck you. I'm off the clock. You sound like my teacher husband. He loves the on-call mentality that students develop 10 minutes to midnight on the day before the essay is due. Thanks, I guess. I do like the energy though of students getting into crunch mode. But it's just that it has been more than a week now, and I have a family to take care of too. I can't be on standby 24/7 just because my students decide to play Borderlands 3 from 0300 to noon and then crash. No criticism at all. Don't let them take the piss. You are entitled to your free time and it's on them if they play video games during school hours instead. They don't care or are dead. Either way, we've failed to yield any responses from them so far. What grade are you teaching and where, I wonder? Teaching at university level. Nah, they're alive. At least I hope they are. They're just treating this as an excuse for a vacation, I guess. As a junior in college, I'll give you my take on this situation. Professors are just piling on work, like it's going to make up for the disconnect. Quite a few people in my life have told me that because they're able to conduct their office job from home, class should be easy, but that's just not the case. This is a really shitty situation for pure learning. There's a reason why online classes haven't caught on is because they're not half as good as in-person classes. This seems to be how most of us feel, and it's tough to get enthused about organic chemistry or research methods when you can barely hear the professor. It's tough to ask questions, and you're in the comfort of your home, which has, up until this point in our lives, been a place of relaxation. I was in a small group meeting on Zoom with my college prof today. One of the guys didn't realize his mic was on and yelled super angrily at his family member, "WTF are you doing? I'm on a video call with my professor right now. Get the duck out." A girl did a similar thing last week too. Apparently people speaking really rudely to their family is normal. Having come from a pretty dysfunctional family myself, I can tell you with absolute certainty with the hindsight of mid-30s person that some parents deserve that rudeness. Some parents outright disrespect their students and should absolutely shut the f*** up and get the f*** out. I failed half my grade 11 classes because my mother wouldn't let me onto my own computer that I bought with my tobacco money until midnight when she went to bed because she paid for the internet and got first dibs, and I could do my homework when she was done. By then I was already tired and a teenager, so I just masturbated and went to bed. This went on for a year and a half, and I failed 6 classes for not doing the homework that needed to be done online or on a computer that I owned that my mother refused to let me use because she felt her desire to chat on ICQ with her friends was more important than my schooling. Graduate teaching assistant here. One of my students has a group of men that stand behind them wearing white undershirts and white boxers. They don't move at all during the lecture. I'm kind of concerned for the student. /s. Edit. I broke the golden rule and forgot to add the sarcasm part. Still really glad to know that so many kind people are willing to help others and explain stuff. This might be a dumb question, but is it just a background image? Some of these clients like Zoom let you replace your background with an image you uploaded. Yep, you are right. I saw that meme of a student doing it online and was trying to make a joke but forgot the /s. Subscribe and leave a like, please.